Before the sound, there was a story. Before the rhythm, there was a memory. From Africa to the diaspora, our music carries us. You are listening to the Akojokwa Music Foundation podcast, where Pan-African art music professionals gather to share their stories. Akojokwa. Hi, my name is Daniel Kumapayi, and this is Guerrilla Tactics in Nigerian Arts Administration, strategic adaptation in a complex environment. When we talk about building arts organizations or nonprofits in Nigeria, we have to start with reality. Navigating Nigeria's arts and nonprofit sector requires far more than passion or good intentions. It demands a deep understanding of a volatile economy, constantly shifting regulations, and a system where corruption and informal gatekeeping are a part of everyday life. My journey in arts administration and ethnographic research has shown me that survival, let alone success, often depends on what I call guerrilla tactics. These are strategies rooted in adaptability, strong networks, and the ability to respond to challenges in real time, often with unconventional solutions. In Nigeria's nonprofit and creative industries, access to opportunities and resources is rarely straightforward. Instead, it's frequently controlled by a small group of gatekeepers, and success depends on strategic flexibility and resilience. In this episode, I want us to dive deeper into how guerrilla tactics can be used to build an arts nonprofit that doesn't just survive, but actually thrives. Let me start with bureaucracy. During my time in Nigeria in summer 2023, I experienced firsthand how even the most basic administrative tasks became major obstacles. One clear example was trying to open a Nigerian business account for Akojokwa. In theory, this should have taken a few hours, maybe a day at most. In reality, it dragged on for months. The delay had nothing to do with the supposed missing paperwork. It came down to not having the right connections. Requirements shifted without explanation, and expectations were unclear. What should have been routine became a prolonged waiting game. This experience reflects a broader pattern across Nigeria's nonprofit and art sector. Whether it's registering an organization, applying for grants, or accessing institutional support, official procedures often take a backseat to personal relationships. Progress isn't just about what you submit. It's about who you know and what you're able to negotiate behind the scenes. To navigate this, I adopted what I called a guerrilla mindset, leveraging relationships, informal knowledge, and strategic patience to keep things moving. The lesson here is simple but powerful. In environments where inefficiency is normalized, access to networks and financial flexibility can determine whether an organization moves forward or stays stuck. That bank account wasn't just an administrative headache. It was a case study in the kind of adaptive relationship-driven leadership required to build something sustainable. Another major challenge is financial sustainability. Many Nigerian nonprofits and arts organizations operate with extremely limited funding. As a result, they're often forced to offer free services, rely on inconsistent ticket sales, or use their own personal funds, which makes long-term planning difficult. Through interviews with nonprofit leaders and African cultural workers, I found that organizations that endure tend to be financially agile. They diversify income beyond international donors, form strategic partnerships, and increasingly turn to digital crowdfunding. Equally important is the financial management. This is very crucial. Weak accounting systems and limited financial oversight can cripple an organization from within. Strengthening financial literacy and internal controls isn't just about efficiency, it's about survival. It reduces vulnerability to mismanagement and internal fraud, and it builds the trust with partners and funders. Technology has also emerged as a critical tool. Nigeria's infrastructure presents real challenges. Unreliable electricity, inconsistent internet access, but many organizations are using digital tools to work around these barriers. Social media has become a powerful tool for fundraising, advocacy, and audience engagement. Digital payment systems help streamline transactions, reduce cash handling, and minimize financial risk. But technology isn't a magic fix. Implementation has to be intentional. Tools must be accessible, affordable, and aligned with the realities of the communities organizations are serving. One of the most consistent themes in my research is corruption, from so-called facilitation fees for event permits to harassment by law enforcement targeting public gatherings. Corruption complicates even the simplest operations. Leaders I interviewed emphasize that addressing corruption requires a layered approach, transparent financial systems, alliances with reputable organizations, and clear internal policies that reduce opportunities for exploitation. Here again, the guerrilla mindset is essential. It's not just about resisting corruption. It's about navigating ethical gray areas in a system where formal channels often fail. Resourcefulness, discretion, and strategic decision-making become daily survival skills. One of the most effective survival strategies I observed was partnerships. Collaborating with both nonprofit and for-profit entities allow organizations to share resources, reduce costs, and sustain programming. Partnerships expand reach and strengthen resilience. But the most successful collaborations aren't always transactional. Leaders consistently stress the importance of aligning organizational values with community needs. Trust, shared vision, and long-term impact matter far more than short-term gains. From my research, several key strategies stand out for arts organizations in Nigeria. First, diversify your funding resources. Second, strengthen your financial management. And third, leverage technology strategically. And finally, navigate corruption proactively through ethical flexibility, transparency, and strong alliances. I would like to conclude and say that my journey in arts administration and nonprofit research in Nigeria has made one thing clear. Success requires much more than talent or passion. It requires grit, the ability to adapt, think unconventionally, and build strong partnerships. Those are the things that separate organizations that thrive from those that disappear. By highlighting these guerrilla tactics, I hope that I provided practical insight for arts administrators, nonprofit leaders, and cultural entrepreneurs working in complex environments. In Nigeria's evolving arts and business landscape, unconventional thinking isn't just an advantage. It's a necessity. Thank you so much. As we close today's conversation, we're reminded that Pan-African art music is more than a sound. It is a memory, movement, and meaning. At the Kojikwa Music Foundation, we exist to listen, to document, and to support the artists and cultural workers shaping this living tradition. To learn more about our work, our programs, and how you can engage with this growing community, please visit akojikwa.org. Thank you again for listening, and until next time.
Àkójọpọ̀.